Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the forecast for Saturday the 8th, which is today. These are general readings for all signs, right? They're broad spectrum, so you have to figure out what I'm saying, where it fits in your life, if at all, right? If it doesn't fit, don't. If it doesn't fit, quit, right? Like the OJ trial. If it doesn't fit, you don't need to take it on as your own. It may not be your reading. If some of it fits, that's fine. You can take the pieces that work for you. Anything that benefits you, please feel free to utilize during your day today. I'm using your own highest intelligence and intuition. Never take anything I say over that, okay? This is the end of the week, and I think this is the end of the lives. I think I'm going to pre-tape the weekly for tomorrow and run it. And we'll see if going back to the pre-taped stuff works. We'll see. So let me see here. Let's see what card wants to come out today. So underneath all of that, before I talk too much about it, we had that Ace of Wands energy, right? So there should be maybe a new sort of freedom, illumination, awareness, perspective that's coming out. Maybe it's just the, hey, it's the weekend. Let's relax. Let's pursue our own, what we desire, right? It could be something as simple as that. Generally, though, aces tend to be a little bit more out of the blue and impactful. Like we all see the weekend coming. But maybe there's an opportunity to enjoy our weekend a little bit more today in some way, shape, or form. That's slightly more inspired or pleasurable that we didn't expect, right? So that would be that underpinning energy of the Ace of Wands. Maybe we're having a, inspired thought of how to better our work life or our romantic life or whatever. Just wherever that fits for you, remember that is the underpinning energy. And so that is going to play a bit off of this card that I'm about to pull here. Also, another thing is if you're seeing this on a date that is not the correct date, that's okay. Take the reading rather than the date. So if it fits for you and you're watching it like, in February, go for it. I don't mind. It's the message that's important, not necessarily the date. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords, and I'm not mad at her showing up today, only because we have that Ace of Wands underneath her. And swords and wands are complementary to one another. They both sort of feed off of one another, right? Fire needs air to burn, and air is consumed by fire, right? And so wands, that Ace of Wands would be considered the element of fire. The Page of Swords would be considered the element of air. Now, when I look at this Page of Swords to me, she's always like the investigator of the deck, right? The PI. She needs a little bit more information maybe before she can make a decision. Pages to me have that kind of youthful energy that we saw in the midweek with the Fool card, right? Fool's a much more bigger, impactful new beginning or new journey being set out upon. But the Page is going to be a little bit more analytical. She's going to be more about analysis, looking into why things are the way they are, or why am I inspired in the way that I'm inspired? How do I get this inspiration into something that's maybe manifestable or how do I, take steps? If I take the steps, what will be the ramifications, right? That's kind of the Page of Swords' job. She wants to look at things and learn about them, right? We may not necessarily feel as though we have all of the answers when the Page is here, but she's into and up for the opportunity to look into a situation, a scenario, an inspiration, a new road, a new opportunity, a little bit more deeply and figure out where it best fits or how she can best make the most of it. Does that make sense? So essentially what's going on today is if there is something new that's being presented to us, right? Is if there is some sort of new desire within us that is being emitted in some way, right? The Page of Swords is going to go about ideally an open-minded yet educated sort of look at, okay, if I pursue this, what could happen? How can it play out? What are the different ways I can, the different avenues I can go down to make this a possibility, right? And each one of you is going to have a different sort of inspiration or desire that arises. Good morning, Beth, and good morning, Paul. Good afternoon, I should say, Paul. You're saying good afternoon. You must be like maybe in Australia or somewhere. She's a bit of a badass, as Beth says. She looks badass, though. She is a bit of a badass. She's willing to get in there and learn, get scrappy, fight for whatever it is that she wants or that she desires, but she needs to have all of the information first. That's sort of her role in the deck, is that she is like, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're feeling. I see where you're going. This could be your head talking to your heart being represented by that Ace of Wands, your head being represented by the Page of Swords. Pages always indicate, a little bit of youthfulness, right? A willingness to learn. Good morning, Melinda. To learn, right? So she has a little bit of that youthfulness of the Fool and that optimism that the Fool carries, but she's shrewd, right? She's a little bit more analytical. She's a little bit more processy, if that's a word. She's gonna look at things from all angles first before she maybe chooses the path or the move or the action that she's gonna take, right? But what I like about her is she's not stuck in her ways, right? That's Page's, that's an attribute to me, in my opinion, of Page's youthfulness, right? Is that they are malleable. They are open for change. They are open for new ideas, new messages to come to us, new investigations, especially with this Miss Page of Swords here. Swords is how we communicate, how we think, right? So maybe there's some new opportunity or new desire within our heart or within our spirit that we are now like, okay, well, that doesn't sound like such a bad idea. And maybe I'm ready to pursue it, but how do I go about doing it? Or what does it look like when I pursue it? And sort of setting out the map. She could be a bit of the map maker this week going into next week, right? Tomorrow we have a whole new weekly. So we'll see where these cards take us if they continue us on this journey. But right now, today's about taking a closer look, maybe at how we feel, what we're in desire of, where our spirit is at. And there's also an opportunity here to uplift our spirit through the exuberance and the youthfulness of the Page of Swords. So keep that in mind too. All right, so let's see what Kwan Yin has to say. Okay, interesting. Spin the silken thread divine. Card. Uh-oh, it seems like I'm having connection issues. I hope it's okay. Threes always bring me to the mind body together. It's kind of like the mind and or the heart or the spirit coming together to sort of work together to challenge oneself to pursue a new goal. Spinning the silken thread divine feels like something that might be a little bit important, delicate, and that's where I'm getting the silken thread idea from. But spinning that, right? We're creating it. We're investigating it. We're making it happen today. We're maybe dreaming about the idea, or I don't want to say dreaming, but thinking about it, thinking about how it would feel, right? That's the silken thread divine to me, in my opinion, before reading the story even. It's like this idea of, does the Ace of Wands present us with a new opportunity that feels, or that we think feels like it's possible and it's wonderful, right? That's the silken thread divine. Let's sort of start to weave that into our story, weave that into our world, weave that into our thoughts, our communications through, learning how to do that, right? The learning aspect would be that page energy. Okay. I love that she sits there in front of that full moon, Kwan Yin. Is so prominent and full, and that intuition is carrying at her, right, or holding space for her. But we also have the intellect or the ego, the mind, working with the intuition or the spirit, the subconscious, even maybe that moon could represent. So the two are kind of, even though they're both looking in opposite directions to me, which I find is funny, they're kind of, their heads are tilted down at the same sort of angle. So they may be two different tracks or way of thinking. Does that make sense? But they are in tune to one another. They feel connected to me. They even almost have like their arms outstretched, like they're ready to touch arms and then move forward, kind of like Laverne and Shirley, Shamil Shamival, Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated. Da-da-da-da-da-da. We're going to do it. So anyways, let me read to you the story of Spin the Silken Thread Divine, card number 30. And again, always the mind, body, and spirit. And maybe a focus of that today is how do we balance that? How do we bring that into a place of sort of, I guess, havingness for ourselves today? So here's the story, guys. Good morning, Teresa Barker, and good morning. You can only hear music. What music, Natalie? I don't know what music. I don't have any music playing, dear. Resendez, this is a group reading, so I'm not doing, oh, you fixed it. Okay, good, Natalie. Welcome. All right, so Spin the Silken Thread Divine. Here's the story that goes with this card in case you can utilize it in some way. In creating precious silks, there is a sorting process, a sifting out that which is broken to find that which is precious and pure. Interesting, because the Page of Swords is all about investigation. She'll be doing that sifting today. You are commencing a new cycle, beloved, and it is that you wish to take with you into the future. And remember, we saw the Ace of Wands, which is about new beginnings, and the Fool this week, which is about new journeys. Sometimes we need to help ourselves access the new cycle by releasing vows from this or other lifetimes, releasing old emotional patterns, and calling in wisdom and talents from past lifetimes. You are guided to accept this healing now. Your past is calling to you. It is calling to be cleared, to be released, and for the beauty and power of the past to be claimed in the present moment, woven together like a precious rare silk. All the experiences, mistakes, adventures, and success of your past in this and other lifetimes have given your soul plenty of material from which to draw its wisdom, like fine silken threads being woven into a beautiful fabric. It has had to grow in awareness, light, capacity, and love in order to be where it is. To realize that your past is nothing to be ashamed of. Even the worst mistakes you may have judged yourself or others for have been opportunities to really grow in love. The precious silk could not be formed without the rough layers of the cocoon within which the pure thread is spun by the silkworm. So too have you been able to weave something truly beautiful within the experiences of your life, even those which you no longer need to carry with you as memories or scars. Hold on, I need a sip of coffee, please. There comes a time to extract the pure thread and cast aside that which is unusable. You are at a point, beloved, where you must choose to empty out old emotional baggage and take forward with you the gifts, skills, wisdom, and talents you have developed throughout many lifetimes, so that you may move into the new cycle that is calling you forward. Sometimes that can feel very unfamiliar. That would be page energy, right? And cause us some anxiety as we do not have the old emotional or behavioral patterns to hold on to as we go through life. Yet there is no need to be fearful of this process, because as you release the old, a beautiful new patterning will be emerging from within you. You have new emotions, new ways of being available to you, born of your past experiences, but not limited by them. Kwan, mistress of spinning the spiritual silk, is with you, and the process can be filled with peace, joy, and love. You will feel lighter for this process and more able to be your divine self in all parts of your life. That sounds really beautiful. Healing, this is a long reading, guys. I'm just noticing it's like 3 pages, so bear with me. Healing to spin the silken thread divine. Close your eyes and be aware of your heart space. With a soft silver light glowing within, imagine you can travel within your heart and within your within your sense, a movement, a spinning of threads. Within you, sense a movement, a spinning of threads. Some are rough and broken, yet they hold a barrier in place so that within great silky threads of pure light can be woven in an endless stream. Feel the preciousness and wonder of these threads. They are like the meridians of your soul being spun in your heart. Allow yourself to journey along these threads of light in your heart, where you eventually notice a spiral of many lights and colors representing the lifetimes and situations that you have encountered through your past, in this lifetime, and beyond. You become aware of Kwan Yin gently catching the threads of your soul and extracting them out of the rough cocoon, weaving them into an exquisite silk. Like we are that silk, guys, that tapestry. Say aloud, through the grace of Kwan Yin and my own free will, I now unconditionally forgive and release the pain, shame, or blame that is holding me in past energies and preventing me from living my potential. I release this wholly and completely now, through all time and space and all dimensions of my being. Send love to Kuan Yin and her divine fingers, weaving your soul light into beautiful expression, and then say aloud, I now choose to claim all past life talents, gifts, and skills that are based in unconditional love into my present lifetime. Wow, that's a pretty amazing task right there. I asked for this by the grace and compassion of Kuan Yin and of my own free will in unconditional love and divine mercy. Finally, send love with this intention from you to beloved Kuan Yin once more. When you are ready, feel the lightness in your heart as your cocoon has been transformed into the most exquisite silken garment of light. Imagine it resting on your body and feel the beauty. When you are ready, open your eyes. Prayer to the silken thread divine. I now choose to release all vows, agreements, veils, and cords that are not based in unconditional love and no longer serve my highest good. Through the divine mercy, compassion, and power of Kuan Yin and my own free will, I let this go. I now call upon my past life and current life mastery according to my own free will, and through the unconditional love and divine mercy of Kuan Yin, this is so. I choose to spin the silken thread divine, my own soul light, into my life now. Om Mani Padme Hum. All right, guys. So let's get the grounding stone. Sounds like some beautiful kind of internal work can take place today if we choose to utilize the time to maybe reflect, to go inward, and to sort of see this light within us and release that which we've maybe been carrying and been unaware. Hence why we have the page here investigating. Hence why we have the new door opening and the new inspiration of the Ace of Wands, right? The Ace of Wands would indicate that of the spirit, the drive and the excitement and the newness of the spirit. So there could be something that we might be able to, there could be attributes that we could call upon us or back into us, into our awareness, and also release things that maybe we were unaware of that are no longer serving us. Now, the grounding stone, something also wards off negativity. And it's the blackness of it also makes me think of like sort of the subconscious, or going deep within to who we are through that sort of meditation that I just read to you, right? The word, though, is vision. So in a sense, it's like what I think about when I think about vision is how do we see ourselves? Where do we place ourselves? How do we fit ourselves in our world? How do we hold ourselves? Do we hold ourselves from a place of compassion? Do we hold ourselves from a place of judgment? In either respect, I would open up your vision wider. to what activity with spin the silken thread divine comes in. It's like the vision is we are much grander as spirits than we are in this lifetime, and that our information, our intelligence, our intuition, our knowledge, our compassion, all of those things spans many lifetimes if you believe in reincarnation. And we have much more data or information in our hearts and in our minds than we probably even realize, right? So opening up that vision and grounding in that vision that all possibility is available to us today, that is also that Ace of Wands energy. Things can be coming out of nowhere today for us in the sense of awarenesses, illuminations, understandings of ourselves, not only at a spiritual level, but also at a mental level, right? So be patient with yourself, expand that vision, and try and see yourself from a more compassionate or accepting light, and allowing the things that don't necessarily serve you to be released. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense today. That is your reading for the day. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I'm probably going to pre-tape tomorrow and go back to pre-taped unless I hear a whole bunch of complaints that no, you guys want me to stay live daily. But I will be here in the chat when I release it and I premiere it tomorrow. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when the video does go up, so you can be in the chat room with us in the morning when I do release it. And I look forward to seeing you guys then. Have a wonderful day. It should be amazing. I mean, it's filled with a ton of opportunity for introspection, appreciation, and harmony within ourselves. But we have to see that as available, and that's where that vision comes in. Widen your vision of what's available to you, of who you are, of what you know, and understand that you are far more than what you experience in the day-to-day lifetime that exists. All right. Have a wonderful day, guys, and take care. Bye-bye.